Hey guys, so today we have a very special guest. We have Birger Karlsson all the way from overseas. He's going to be talking to us about cardistry, cards, his opinions, and the art form itself. It's a very great conversation. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's start.
Sweet.
So, Birger, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Birger Karlsson. I live in Stockholm in Sweden. That's where I was born and where I grew up, and I've lived there all my life. I am a cardist, someone who does cardistry. I've been headlining at CardistCon. I only missed 2018, I think, but I've done 2015, 16, 17, and 19, um, which has been a lot of fun, really. Participated in a lot of cardistry competitions, especially CardistCon championships in 2016 and 2018. Got third and I think like fifth place or something in those two competitions. Yeah.
Okay, that's I remember all of those. So I remember when you competed and when you judge. So I was there for that.
Yeah,
What
it's
would
awesome.
what would be your definition of cardistry for those that are unaware?
So cardistry is like in a way it's a very niche thing, but it's also a very broad thing. Like cardistry, I describe it as anything cool you can do with cards. So let's like get rid of the playing card games and doing magic, but anything else that you can do with playing card that looks cool or feels good or sounds nice. I don't know, but a lot of people like to look at it as skateboarding. Because you can
Yeah,
obviously skateboard from point A to point B. You can also do skate tricks. So cardistry is card tricks, not the magic part of it, but doing cool stuff with cards, basically.
yeah, it's kind of like you said, skateboarding. It's just tricks with cards, but they're not really magical or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're magical in the sense that they look
Yeah,
impossible, but yeah,
yeah.
no magic tricks, of course.
So we met briefly at Cardistry Con in Portland. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so what was your most enjoyable experience out of the whole event?
Uh, I struggle a lot to find a specific thing about it. Like the the thing I enjoy the most about all Cardicons, the Portland one included, obviously, is just the amount of cardists that you meet, several hundred of cardists, because we usually just sit by our computer or our phone and video chat, or not even that, just post videos. And basically, we're used to only seeing each other's hands. So it's really weird to actually meet your, I don't know, friends that you've hung out with online for 5 years, but you've never met them in person. So that's the thing I like the most about CardistCon, is just being able to meet all different people that you've heard about and seen online before. But if I had to pick a specific moment, that would be when Zach Zach Mueller of Fontaine Playing Cards, when he screened his futures video. That was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I remember my first convention. It wasn't a cardistry convention, it was a magic convention,
Okay.
but a bunch of cardists had planned to meet there.
Mm,
It was the Texas Association of Magicians convention,
yeah.
and it was me, CJ Ocampo, guy Eric Williams,
Mm, yes.
and a bunch of other guys, and we met. And we basically got kicked out. We were not allowed to
Oh,
go
you
to
were? Oh no.
magic rooms because we hadn't bought tickets for anything. We
Oh.
were just in the hotel lobby the whole entire time. And Dan and Dave were there. But it was good times. I remember that a lot. The conventions are definitely one of the best aspects of cardistry now. It's just meeting everyone and seeing everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. For sure.
So, do you find other art forms to be inspirational to your creative process?
Um, Both yes and no. I know, for example, Cardist, Andrew Avila, at least a couple of years back, he said that he could look at like buildings um, and like old architecture stuff, and he could like try to build those kind of things with cards in his hands instead.
Yeah,
That's a form of direct inspiration, and I don't think I do that at all. But I explore a lot of different art forms like music um, and like graphics and video editing is a big part of cardistry as well. And I,
yeah,
even though that I don't like try to copy something, um, if that makes sense, I definitely gives me inspiration in some way. Listening to different music will probably make you create different things.
yeah. All right, that's a good point. You don't really copy; you just like get an inspiration from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, who was one cardist as you were getting older that you always wanted to meet and actually met?
I think when I started out doing cardistry, I felt like um, I didn't think I would ever get to meet any of the people I looked up to. The first one that I felt like, okay, I actually have I could actually meet this person was when I first saw Noel Heath, another Swedish artist. Um, and it was the fact that he was also Swedish, and I knew that he went to like magic conventions and stuff here in Sweden, and I knew that if I went to that convention, I would meet him, and I really wanted to do that. That never happened. Met him for the first time many years later, probably at a Cardist Con. Um, but apart from Noel, I think Dimitri was one of my first inspirations, especially when I started to create my own flourishes and moves. I got to meet him for the first time, Cardistry Con 2015 in Brooklyn. That was such a great experience. It was basically my first time meeting any other cardist, I think. Well, I've had a couple of friends here in Stockholm, like two or three different people, but that was, I don't know, 50, 60 people, which was really cool. Great experience. And pretty much all of the people I looked up to were there. So it was, yeah, I could barely comprehend it. It was awesome.
Why was it so hard to meet Noel when he was in Sweden?
Because he lives in another city. It's not that far. I think it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive.
Oh wow.
But must have been 12 or 13 back then. He's a couple years older than me. I just started out doing magic, and I didn't really just want to hit him up and ask him to meet me because I was just another fan. Well, yeah, that was my view of it, I guess. So we never tried to meet up. I don't think until he either it was Cardisicon, also that 2015 one in Brooklyn, or he visited Stockholm to meet another friend and he stopped by me. Yeah, that was also really cool to meet him for the first time and speaking your native language
Yeah.
to someone doing what you love. I very rarely speak Swedish when I talk about cardistry. It's also pretty cool.
Yeah. So so it took a couple years to meet him, right?
Yeah, I don't think I met any other cardist for the first 2 or 3 years of me doing it. So it was quite lonely. Still can be from time to time, but we
Yeah.
got video chats and stuff. We're very like spread out. at least most of us. Some are fortunate enough to live in the same city as other Cardists, but um, yeah, pretty much everything in the Cardist community happens online, um,
Yeah.
apart from CardistCon, which is why that's such a big deal, because hundreds of Cardists meet at the same place, which very, very rarely happens.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go to the next question. Do you think cardistry touches written cardistry will gain traction in the future?
I really,
If you don't
I,
remember, it's that written form.
yeah, I really like the idea of that. I wish I wish I knew how to read it and write it. I really want to get into it, and I really don't know what will happen with it because it's there. They've figured out a really good way to write down cardistry moves, and
Yeah.
they can teach people how to read it and how to write it. But I feel like they have to, well, someone has to find a really good way to teach people it, so it doesn't, because it, when looking at it, it's really like cryptic, and
Yeah,
you
it's kind of
probably have to
strange.
spend a couple of hours to learn it, more than, well, a couple of weeks maybe to get good at it. And since no one uses it, then no one has a reason to start using it. I mean, there aren't any books that teach these moves in a written form. Well, in that way that they write it. So there's no reason for me to learn it because I wouldn't be able to use it really. And if
Yeah.
I'm the first person to learn it, then I can't show it to other people because they have to learn it as well. So it's kind of a big process to get going. So I'm really not sure if it will ever happen that it gets like, I don't know, well known or something that every cardist knows. But I wish it was.
Do you
Uh,
think it's do you think it's because it's so much easier just to make a video and slow-mo it and then just introduce it to the community like that?
yeah, and like, I understand that. Yeah, I'm trying to find a good reason to use that form of written cardistry, um, because like, why not just, well, obviously videos, it's really easy, and it would probably, it would be easier to learn a move from a video than from reading that, uh, at least when when you're still learning that written language. But also, if you want to show something in a book or something, then why not just have pictures of it? um, and that's why, like, the transition to like get people to learn this uh, written cardistry language will be very difficult, I think. And yeah, as I said, I don't know if it will ever happen, but um, yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
um, yeah,
So I saw recently you bought a CJ Ocampo painting. Is that true?
that's true. I'm still waiting for it to arrive. um,
Okay.
Hasn't gotten here yet, but that's true. Yeah, I really like what he does. um, his art. um, Yeah, so he produces playing cards for his art, and recently he branched out to, well, yeah, I guess make small paintings and stuff. So I just asked him if he did commissions, and he said yes. So I ordered one, which was really cool. It was a really cool guy, and I really like it. And if I take a look around me, I'm mostly surrounded by cardistry related stuff, even where I live in my apartment. So it's nice to have like small pieces of cardistry art as well.
Yeah, as
So,
you can see behind me.
oh yeah, you also have the uncut sheet there. Yeah, I got three of them here. I don't know if you can see them. You can barely see them, but three Fontaine ones there
Oh wow.
on the side here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I saw that he was doing commissions, I actually asked him if he wanted to do a piece for me. Um, I wanted to do it for Mother's Day and give
Yeah.
it to my mom, but it wouldn't come in time, so I decided not to do it. So I ended up bailing on it. But
Yeah,
I was thinking in the future, if he continues to do more commissions, then I might buy one piece of artwork for him or something like that. But
yeah, for sure.
yeah, that was definitely cool. I'm glad there's people supporting other artists.
Yeah.
So, which mashup would you prefer? A dealer's grip, anyone worldwide video, or a Fontaine Donnybrook deck?
Uh, as much as I would have liked to see, uh, like I can imagine a Donnybrook design with the F's on looking really good. So I really want that to happen. But just thinking of the history of anyone in dealer script, it would be really cool to see Oliver, Tobias, and Nikolai working as, I guess, a team again,
Yeah.
with a mashup video. Uh, yeah, those of you who don't know, dealer script, well, when anyone wasn't around, dealer script was run by Oliver and Tobias, and Nikolai was doing a couple of projects, pretty much helping out with everything, I guess. And then Tobias and Nikolai moved to making their own brand and do the script. Um, it's just Oliver now, but it would be so cool to see them, the three of them, making a new video with, because the dealer script has a very distinct style of video, and anyone has an even more distinct style of video in my
Yeah.
eyes. It would be really nice to see a mix of that, or maybe going back to the old style, the old dealer script style before they split up, I guess. So yeah, that would be my answer. The dealer script X anyone worldwide mashup video.
Yeah, that is the same answer I would give. a deck,
Yeah,
a deck, like a deck lasts for a while, and then you move on to a new deck and a new deck and a new deck. But a
yeah,
video is on the internet forever, and you can always get inspiration on it and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. In a sense, a deck has a lifespan.
Yeah,
You only use it for a certain amount of time, and then it either you grow out of it or you get a new deck that you want to use even more, or uh, well, they get worse and worse the more you use them. So at some point you're gonna set them aside. But yeah, as you said, a video is there forever.
yeah.
It's really cool.
So this is the last question, and then we'll go to the closing remarks.
Yeah.
Would you consider cardistry to you to be just a lifestyle or a hobby?
Um, for a lot of people, it's probably just a hobby. Um, for me specifically, I'd definitely say it's more than just that. Yeah, closer to a lifestyle. I'm again thinking about it as with skateboarding. People that skateboard a lot, they they strongly think that skateboarding is more than just skateboarding as a lifestyle. Um, yeah, you can look at cars videos and realize that okay, so a lot of people wear the same clothing, well, the same brands of clothing, and I guess when you care about something, a hobby, for example, cardistry, to the point that you're really proud of doing it and feel like you're good at it. You don't really have to be good at it, but just happy that you're doing it and you're proud of it. Then you start thinking about it pretty much all the time. And yeah, I'm looking around me in my apartment and look at my art pieces and stuff that is just cardistry related. I have a cardistry rug back there.
Yeah, I see you have the
For
anyone
example,
worldwide.
yeah, and just a bookshelf filled with playing cards, and I'd say it's, for me, it's definitely more than just a hobby.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's the case with almost all like really dedicated cardists, at least. As I said, I don't think it matters what hobby you're doing, um, but as soon as you're really into it and you're proud of doing it, then you start to express in more ways than just that hobby. So you branch out to art and stuff in your apartment and the way you dress yourself and what music you listen to, and Yeah, there's a lot of different aspects to being a quote unquote cardist, I guess.
Yeah. I know for me, it's definitely a lifestyle because I went from just playing with cards and being a magician to the point where I was listening to music just so that I could figure out what music would be best for my videos.
Yeah,
I'd spend time looking at people's graphics to see like what graphics would be best for my videos, what moves would be best for my videos, and it started encircling my life pretty much. Like every aspect of my life, there was a touch of cardistry, like not like a touch of cardistry inspiration from there.
yeah,
From everything from cooking to everything to like the way that you flip a pancake is the same way you flip
yes,
a deck of cards and stuff.
yeah,
And I was growing inspiration from everything, and I just over time it became my not my life per se because I still do other things, but it became a lifestyle that I pursued and still pursue to this day.
yeah.
So
Same with me. I'd say it feels like, even though, as I said, I don't like take like direct inspiration. I don't go out and try to find something that I could incorporate in my cardistry, but it's in some way always in the back of my mind, like how can I steal a little bit of this thing that I think is cool and steal a little bit of this thing and incorporate this, I don't know, sound that I've heard, and all of these things to just create a move or a video. So it's, yeah, always in the back of my mind of
yeah.
how to incorporate
Now
things.
So now for the closing remarks, do you have
Yeah.
any advice for people that are starting out with cardistry that might be getting frustrated or might be getting a little upset, starting out and not seeing the progression they see in videos and stuff like that? What would you say to them?
I'd say probably the most important thing to realize is that everyone drops cards. You're gonna drop cards, like no matter what level you're at. If you're starting out and just trying to learn your first one-handed Charlier cut, you're going to it's going to be difficult. You're gonna drop cards. I drop cards all the time because, like, if you don't push yourself um, to a point where you're not comfortable. Like you can't be too comfortable. You have to push yourself. You have to drop cards. You have to try again, um, and you will get better. And when you've worked on a move until you feel like you're good at it, you move on to the next one. It's going to be really difficult to learn a new move, but you're going to get there. So first off, you're going to drop cards. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I'd say in terms of what to learn, because that's a question that people want to know, is because they want to learn things as fast as possible, as quickly as possible. Like, how do I get really good in 1 month or something? So either you learn all of the basics, the fundamentals, and really try to do everything in order, doing the most basic stuff first, and then you work yourself up to difficult two-handed cuts and aerials and very mechanical fans and stuff. What I did, however, was to learn anything that I thought looked cool, at least try to learn it. I just browse on YouTube. I find a cool move. I just slow it down to slow motion. I try to learn it. Most of the time, I couldn't do it, but I had at least tried it, and that gave me, yeah. Even though I didn't realize that I did, but I learned something from it. You're still learning, even though you're failing in your eyes. Um, then you move on to something else you think looks cool, and maybe you can do that one, and then you move on to something else, and you reach a point where you move back to a move that you couldn't do earlier, and this time around you can do it, and that's such a rewarding feeling. I don't know if this makes any sense, but
Yeah, it made
uh,
sense. Um, I
I
just
think the thing I was struggling with when I was starting out was I was trying to find that balance between I didn't like just doing the fundamentals because that wasn't fun. It wasn't fun to just do really basic stuff. I wanted to at least attempt the difficult things. Um, so I did, and it probably took me a little bit longer to get to a better level, a skill level, cardistry, but at least I had a lot of fun throughout the entire process. And I'm kind of scared to tell people to go by the book and learn the fundamentals and work your way up, um, because I wouldn't have found that fun. And why do cardistry if it's not fun? I don't do cardistry if I don't think it's fun, and I don't do cardistry that day. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's another important thing. You're gonna drop a lot of cards, and you want to have fun,
yeah
and I think that's the only important things.
yeah. Those are two really good points. So Berger, thank you for joining us today. If you could stay on, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
for sure.
talk to you a little bit after. But thank you guys for listening. That was Birger Karlsson from Sweden, one of my inspirations, and a lot of a lot of people's inspiration. So I'm happy we got to talk to him and see what he has to say. And I'm really happy with what he had to say and what he had to introduce. And it's really good advice. I think if you're listening to this video, you should really take heed to Berger's advice and really, if it's fun, do it. If you drop cards, keep going, but don't give up, and keep going. So that's it for today. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you later.